Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night, where really it helps when you push the unmute mic button. Anyway, we're back after a brief week's hiatus. Apologies for that, everyone. Stuff going on tonight again for the chaotic one. Corey Steinhauser, he's out of action here tonight, but so I'll be flying solo once again. And we'll see how we go, because it's a bumper track, bumper field, 16 cars here tonight, excuse me, with a strength of field of some 5,100. Something I would never have thought possible at this circuit, if I'm honest. But there again, we did it, and we did it in style, thanks to the community for their ongoing support. Last week, excuse me as I shut the door. Last week, in our absence, there was a 5,600 strength of field. Unbelievable. Fantastic stuff from the community while we were away. But now let's go through our field, and I'm going to try and find camera angles, because for some reason this track, I think it's so enormous, we don't we can't find a camera angle. We actually see the cars. Anyway, Tim Hendrickson, car number 1 this week. Out to continue his run of hot form. Adam Miles joins us back from the wilderness. Adam has been away for some time. Joins us back this week, which is fantastic to see. One of 3. Our top 3 are over 7k in the iRating stakes. The third of which is Rasmus Fiori, the Finnish driver, with some great form under his books, or in his keeping this season anyway. Yet to take out an SNL event. How's that long shot? Cheapest. That's how long that back straight is, just quietly, folks, on this just under 3 minute lap when you're booking it around here. Quite a layout it is indeed. Brett McBurney from McFlabby Racing. He's coming out from behind the barn, out on the big back straight. I don't even know it has a name between the oak tree and the roller coaster. But Brett's out there as the leading ANZ driver, of course, at least in the ratings. Dimitri Filipides, the international man of mystery, about to cross the line to start his timed lap. Vasco Sorowski, head clown himself, is out there as the second of many ANZ drivers out there. Neil Gardner, Captain 499, joins us once again as the 7-plated car. Franco Ruggeri is out there once again. I don't know what the end of the name is, but Franco's out there. Luke Witten, Team Milo's highest ranked car in the field. He starts as car number 9. And of course, this is the track where, I keep mentioning it, this is actually the track where he won his 2K Cup event. I can't promise you it was this layout, though. I don't think anyone's raced this layout in the entire history of the skips. In fact, most series, to be honest. But yeah, Luke did an endurance race in 2K Cup and took it out. And so expect to see him be competitive here tonight, say the least. Xavier Sanchez joins us once again. It's a bit of a regular here on a Sunday night. Great to see one of the top Spanish streamers out there. And a regular here with us for Sunday Night Lights. Car number 11, Alex Steenbruggen. Oh, I'll get it right one time. Steenbruggen, of course, debuted at Chicago, took out a podium. Fantastic start for Steenbruggen. Car number 12 here tonight. The lone Japanese driver out there is Mr. Kenji Kuroda-san, flying the red and white flag of Japan here tonight. Ryan Chenoweth, the wildlife warrior for Goose Juice Racing. He's car number 13 as he heads out through the challenging spiral section. Quite unique to this layout. Mark Lay, the other clown in the field for Team Clowns, car number 14. It's himself navigating his way through what is a single flying lap here. It's the second only to the Nordschleife, where they have a dedicated quali. It's that long. The other track we're going to get one lap in, of course, is I was going to say Bathurst, but you can sneak 2 in there. I'm trying to remember the other track we can only get one lap in. Anyway, Mark Lay's out there on his flying lap. Paul Wilson is the final ANZ driver in the field as he's heading out apparently what is called Madison Avenue at the big back straight. Thank you for that 1C in the chat. Alex Hurte is the final driver in the field. One of only two, he and Paul Wilson, under 4K to get in this field. 3,100 bought you a ticket into the race as Hendrickson sets the fastest time with a 2:53.5, pipped by Rasmus Fiori, if you don't mind, with himself a 53.3. That's flying. Look at all the sector times there in the overlays. There's about 1,000 of them. As we're just waiting for our drivers to come through, Kuroda sets a top 5 time, immediately gets bumped by Steenbruggen. Is there anyone still out there? Adam Miles is out there on a fast one. What's he got for us? As he comes to cross the line behind the well-placed camera, positioned right on the pit straight. Adam Miles grabs 4th after Luke Whitten has 3rd. And that, folks, is everyone done their flying lap. Is everyone on a cool down now? Means that that qualifying mode means not much at the moment, although Viore out on a cool down lap, setting a purple sector. Of course, like I said, the second only to the Nordschleifer in terms of length here. You get 1 lap in. There's a couple of tracks we go to in Bathurst and Road America. We got to get a wriggle on to get 2 laps in, and any mistakes mean you won't, but here there's just no chance. With a 3 just under 4 minute lap, there's no way you're getting 2 of them in. So everyone focused on that first lap and Viore doing the best. And I tell you won't see terribly many faster times in the race. And that's the other point of it too. The lap is so long, the tyres get pretty well up. And, you know, the quality really showing through there. With Viore setting a fantastic time with a 2:53 as quality now comes to a close. And the guys thinking about taking the grid. Speaking of taking the grid, Rasmus Fiori from Finland grabs pole, as we said, with a 2:53.3. Joining him on the front row will be Team Torpedo's Tim Hendrickson in the blue and orange mobile. Luke Whitten for VDR. Team Milo, 2/10 off the pace, starts from the second row. And third, joining him will be Adam Miles for Miles Ahead Racing. Welcome return for the Brit. Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing is the second ANZ driver, starting out of 5th. Starting from 6th tonight will be Alex Steenbruggen. Some 7.5 tenths off pole. Neil Gardner, Captain 499, puts in a great time to start out of 7th. Just ahead of Goose Juice Racing's Ryan Chenoweth. That's a great starting position for the Wildlife Warrior. Kenji Kuroda from Japan starts 1 second off the pace. In 9th, Dimitri Filippidis, somewhat surprisingly, having done quite a number of laps here, supporting the community. Of course, starting out of 10th with his stream. Xavier Sanchez, speaking of streamers, starts out of 11th. The Spaniard just ahead of Vasco Sorowski in 12th. Going over the page just briefly, Mark Lay, his Team Clowns teammate, starts out of 13th, just ahead of 14th, Alex Hurte from Iberia. Paul Wilson, the ANZ driver, out of 15th, and Franco Ruggieri for Four-Gear TV racing team out of 16th tonight. I believe he failed to set a time, if I am not mistaken. So I'm going to try and grab a camera angle where you can actually see something at the start. There we go. Interesting thing about this layout, it's so unfamiliar. There's no camera packs and stuff flying around that you just can't find, and the native ones are pretty average, if I'm honest. But we'll do our best to muddle our way through and see where we get to. I know whatever we do, the drivers will put on a great show, as they always do. As the revs start to rise and the red lights come on, and as they go out, we are away for 8 laps here at Virginia International Raceway. And for the first of those, we head down into the horseshoe for the first time. Fiore leading the way, 2 by 2 they go. And Hendrickson tries to go around the outside, still 2 by 2, well deep in this field. as the drivers still trying. I'm going to take a wider angle so I can try and capture more of the action, give you the sense of what it looks like with all these drivers streaming through the opening sectors, through the left hook. Right now they go. You feel like getting punched. There'll be left hooks and right hooks everywhere. It's this track. I'm surprised we're not driving two-seaters here this week. Chuck a navigator in and you might have a better chance of getting around here in one piece as they come through the snaking S's. Now, and this is where you get the short run and then you hook a right-hand turn up the uphill corner, as it's known, somewhat unsurprisingly. Up the back, short little run up the hill. That's such a characteristic of so many US tracks is elevation changes, and I think it's a wonderful thing, one of the wonderful features of US circuits. But here you throw in all this elevation change, and then you throw in blind cresting corners everywhere and the narrow nature of the circuit, and it's such a unique challenge, one that appeals to many of the top drivers, I know, but unfortunately not the broader community, as participation here has been pretty tragic, which is a real shame. But having said that, as we know, the SNL community loves their Skippy, and they come out each and every week in force. This season, of course, once again, averaging over a 5,000 strength field. I don't think we've had a race below 5,000 this season. We might have had one, but that would be about it. As VIR leads away from Hendrickson, we're out past this oak tree. Whoa, a bit of contact there you could hear on the tyres. I'm wondering if it was phantom contact from Witten, or indeed Adam Miles might have actually just clipped the tyre barrier on the inside of the oak tree, as now Hendrickson looks to make his move. Sorry folks, that's such a wide camera angle. It's the best one we got for the lap around here. VIR lifts, just lets him back in. I imagine that's where the action will take place, though, as they head over the crest there at the fish hook. I beg your pardon, at the roller hoster, down now through the hog pen. Beautiful cut of the apex there, curbing through the hog pen as they go to cross the line for the first, to finish the first and start the second of the 8 laps here tonight. As side by side into turn 1. Really, it's amazing, you know, the 3 wide, are they going to, yeah, look, oh, Witten, oh, trying to mow the grass there, 3 wide. Witten goes very deep, which he can do around the outside. That is probably the only place on the circuit where you can fit 3 cars side by side. Miles looks to take advantage, and they're 2 by 2 now. Noah's Ark style through the opening sector, now down to the left hook. They go, still side by side. I watched the warm-up race tonight, and I tell you, on the last lap, Hendrickson and VIR were side by side, I reckon, for a good minute and a half, almost, of the 3-minute lap. And they managed to do it, and it came down to the wire, and that's what I'm hoping again, what we see again in this race. Look at the gaggle of cars sitting in behind VIR now, as Hendrickson got a clean run and has almost got a gap. He's about 6.5 tenths out. VIR will pull that in. The question is, will the drivers behind him let him pull Tim in? That's the, oh, there's a big check up behind Miles and McBurney, the big brake lock up, as Steenbruggen also had to almost take evasive action. We've lost one out the back, poor Wilson. Let's go see what we can find here with Wilson. Just coming down through the left hook. Oh, he's just got it all wrong. He's spun on his own, unfortunately. Wilson. We've spoken to him a few times this season, and he's loved his races here on a Sunday night. I'm sure he'll still be smiling at the end of it, but I guess time will tell. Overall, Hendrickson's almost away. He's out to 8.5 tenths. They want to get a wriggle on as they come out the back once again through 21 onto 22 at the oak tree. I really love oh, McBurney in the background is gone. Let's go McBurney. Let's see what happened there at the oak tree for McBurney. He's coming very hot. Looks like he clipped the entrance. Yeah, he clipped the grass on entry, it looked like, at 21, and by the time he came out to the oak tree, he just could not arrest that car enough to keep it on the track. because you really need to flow that section of the track so well, because it sets you up through the oak tree, and then you got this massive long straight down Madison Avenue, which again, second to Nordschleife. I reckon that's probably the second longest straight we've got in the series, anywhere we go in the series. Now, meanwhile, that long straight has brought the pack back together. The front four now all together once again, side by side. They go into turn one. This is what cost VIR last time, nearly got Hendrickson away. Witten looking to make it 3 wide again. There's a little bit of a gap. Hendrickson almost inviting him in, and it keeps VIR very tight in through one. And but still, he gets away first, does VIR, out of turn one. And they're trying to go too wide still as they come through this opening sector. Down in the left hook once again. Hendrickson all over the back of VIR. Oh, sorry, have I not got the overlays up? My bad. Sorry, folks. There we go. You know you're doing it well when someone in the audience says, "What lap are we on?" in the middle of a broadcast. Anyway, here we go. We're back on and cooking with gas. Don't know why that didn't come back, actually, unless it wasn't on in the first place. All right. We are back on. And Hendrickson tucked in behind VIR this time, although there's no gap to speak of. The gap has opened up between 4th and 5th, though. Miles breaking away from Steenbruggen in that last lap, which leaves him in the clutches. Look at them bumping, riding the curbs there through that middle section of the circuit. Now coming out the back down to attack the spiral. Look at this section. Look at the elevate. Look at that beautiful camera angle there, actually, of the elevation changes as you come through the fish hook now and down to South Bend. Beautiful run as well. So this is the fish hook now. It's just a 180 degree run almost, and then that you come back onto the main circuit proper that we're all familiar with here at South Bend. Nice flowing 4th gear corner. A little less of a challenge in this layout because as you come out of the fish hook, it's a shorter run there, and you're not dropping down from 5th typically as they come through 21 and 22 on the exit of the oak tree. Last time round here when McBurney had his incident, I said I really like iRace. Now they're not, the best when it comes to graphics and all the rest of it here, but their rendition of the oak tree is actually really, really good here. Side by side again, Hendrickson and VIR run up into excuse me, turn 23 at the roller coaster. Hendrickson gets through cleanly, and these guys are racing, but they're racing smart. In my view, the two primary passing opportunities are at turn 1 and, surprisingly, 23 turns later at the roller coaster after the Madison Avenue straight. And this time Hendrickson leads them around at the close of lap 3 and the start of lap 4. VIR now pulls to the inside once again. Seems to be his strategy, and Hendrickson keeping Witten all the way out. As we jump back to the second pack, we see Steenbruggen go up the inside. Oh, there we go. I'm going to have to start calling Gardner Big Brakes 499 or something, because he goes very deep into corners typically, and sometimes costs him exit speed, and that time locked it right up, and I'm sure it loomed very large in the mirrors of Chenoweth. As we check back in with our leaders now, Luke Witten has moved in front, and in fact Hendrickson's had a moment. Let's go see back see what happened here. They were side by side, and he's just got on the grass there, managed to gather it up, and away they go. That's through the opening sector too, and interesting. Just not enough room, or maybe pushed a bit wide, not really sure there. I'd have to have a closer look at some point, but he hasn't been, not all is lost, as he's definitely on the back there, only half a second behind, and we'll catch that up Madison Avenue out the back. Fastest lap of the race so far, unsurprisingly for Ruggieri, with a 2:52.1. So with the big draft, the guys are in the 52s, so making a liar out of me. They're about a second quicker with the draft, than they were in quali. That's not something you can say everywhere. Not everywhere, at least. And that these days with the draft and how it works with the skips, that you're a second faster per lap with the draft. But that's contextually, as they come up towards 21 and 22 once again, around the Oak Tree, the most important corner. The Oak Tree is absolutely 100% the most important corner, because this is where the draft actually has something to say in terms of this race. Up Madison Avenue out the back. As you see, Witten now draws alongside to take his turn at the front. Interesting. Will VIR cede the corner? He's got Adam Miles putting pressure on him. Miles looking to go through at the same time, but backs out, and VIR... Oh, see the rear of the Milo car want to let go there. Beautiful control to pick it up after the rear stepped out from Witten. And he's hung onto it as they come through the hog pen now at the tail end of lap 4. And past... I'm going to grab another angle so I don't have to stare at the roofs of the pit crews. What are they called? The little tents. Anyway, side by side they go now. The start of the second half of the race. 3 wide once again. Miles looking up the inside at turn 1. VIR goes around the outside. Miles goes around the inside. It's a very tight sandwich. Little clip. Witten bangs right, backs right out of it as he collected. Little touch on the rear of VIR. There it was by the looks. Hendrickson taking full advantage. Side by side now with Miles through the opening sector as they come down to the left hook once again. Still side by side. Goes very deep. Wow, Miles forced him to use all sorts of curbing there through that section. And they come out all surviving. But VIR is another threat here to run away as they exit the snake and head up to the uphill. Turn right. Oh, side by side showing the nose through the uphill. Turn 7 is Hendrickson. The risk they're going to run, though, as they still want to contest it side by side up the uphill further. Through 8, 9, 10 now, up to the left-handed turn 11. Still side by side they go. This is where it gets very narrow. Blind crests everywhere. Undulations, crests, curbs, all sorts of unsettled. And 1.1 seconds is the margin as Miles stares off in the distance at VIR. And VIR says, thank you very much. I'll take that lead. Let's see what it looks like. There's the 3 cars battling behind him. As once again, it's down to it's 1.1 seconds as they exit the fish hook. Look at this battle behind, though. They've settled down, but is it all too late? The blue and yellow machine of Adam Miles now as they come through South Bend once again. Mid stages lap 5, the most important corner coming up through 21. Bit of a lock up. In the rear, they all grab as much as they dare on the inside, but 1.1 is no draft. You can see the gap just starting to come down. Miles getting a great run, but I don't know that that'll help him too much as we go with Miles on the roll bar. I don't know that that'll do him too many favours. As beside him through they go once again. Oh, Witten comes around the outside. I don't think he'll be able to hang on. Oh, he does hang on to it. That's it. Contact. Contact. Is Witten gone? Yes, he is. You could just see there was no room there. And unfortunately, Witten's paid the price. Let's go and have a look at that from a different angle. And you see, he just came back on, and I just want to go back and see if I can grab that a little bit better. Just grab the slow-mo there. You can see Witten on exit. Oh, and just, that's rough. The move probably wasn't on, to be honest. And then as he's coming off, he's always going to spew out from there. And, nothing much going to happen there, unfortunately. Now, the question is, what's that done to the front pack? Now, there you go. VIR is almost away. Miles will be struggling to hang on here. I don't know how many runs he's got on the board this week. I don't know that he's got that many. He's been away out of the series for a little while. He's back this week. And he is now 8 tenths behind Hendrickson, who's probably the form driver that races week in, week out. And of course, Espes would have something to say about that, no doubt. But Hendrickson's had the pace, as has VIR. I haven't seen VIR too much lately. Might have had work commitments or something. But Hendrickson now starting to really mean. The question is, what's Miles got for them? Miles now out to 9/10 a second as they come through this twisting, undulating, as we said, section now out of 14, now on the run down to the spiral once again at 15, 16, 17. Love that shot where they're coming down. The elevation change as you bottom out. It's almost like the dipper at Bathurst, honestly. And then up here to the fishhook once again, and we see Hendrickson now all over the back of VIR, renewing their battle from the warm-up race. Different kind of stakes here though, as Hendrickson now coming through once again this most important corner here at 22. Look how close they go to the oak tree and the barrier around it, and this is what the draft looks like. It's going to be VIR defending. Is he going to hold the left? He's been pretty consistent holding the left-hand line there. Hendrickson this time comes around and says, thank you very much. I'll take that run. And there you go. Gets it done nice and cleanly. That's how you do it, folks. And this time round, we all live to fight another day. Miles, though, he is 1.29, 1.3. I'm gonna say he's gone. Gary making a charge and still setting very fast laps. McBurney, after his early off, he's down here in this second pack, sitting in 5th, just ahead of Steenbruggen in 6th. Philippides up 3 spots. He's sitting there in 7th. Don't forget to change cameras down here, Alex. He's battling with the Wildlife Warrior, Mr. Ryan Chenoweth. Neil Gardner's had a moment. He's dropped a couple. He's down to 9th. Luke Whitten. After that big moment. Oh, what's going on in front here? These three having a ding-dong battle. Chenoweth, Gardner and Philippides on the front. They are having a good night out. And what better night out than a battle of skips anywhere? Well, anywhere but here maybe. Hendrickson last time round did a 51.2. Sensational time. And it was, gotta tell you, with that draft up Madison Avenue, he was a full 1.1, nearly 1.2 seconds quicker than VIR, who was right near him. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And that would go close to being the fastest lap of the week, would be my guess. And can I tell you, the overlays at the moment showing the iRating gains here for the drivers, whether if they finish where they are at the moment. 50 iRating for a 7.5k iRater such as Hendrickson. That's a good night out, let me tell you. You don't see 50 iRating every day of the week at 7.5k. Usually during the week, you win a race, you might pick up 15, 20 on a good day. 50 iRating, get that into VIR for second as a 7.2k iRater, getting 43, and Miles, the other 7k driver in the field, getting 30 for third. Unbelievable. You get a third of that for winning your average race during the week. Unbelievable stuff. That's what this race is all about. That's what the community brings here on a Sunday night, as we're on the penultimate lap. And VIR chasing down Hendrickson. Oh, don't forget to get the barn out of the way, Alex. There we go. The cameras here are not as automagic as I tend to like here. You got to do a bit. You got to earn your money around here when you're playing cameraman as well as producer and commentator and all that sort of stuff. I'm doing the colour and the main caller here tonight, which is always a challenge. Side by side they go once again over the crest at the roller coaster, down now through the hog pen for the penultimate time. Perhaps some dress rehearsals there going on as Hendrickson and Miles do battle once again. Now McBurney leads them in this secondary pack for 4th, 5th and 6th with Ruggieri and Steenbruggen. Chenoweth this time round. Moves to the inside, stakes his claim through the inside. What's going on in the front pack though? Side by side into turn one they go at the horseshoe for the final time. Oh, this is bringing Miles back in. He'll have a sniff here. He's only a second behind with a bit of draft, and these guys going side by side. As I said in the race before leading into this, excuse me, they were side by side. Oh, all sorts of wiggling there from Hendrickson as they go through the left hook once again. Back out through turn 5A and 6 now into the snake, the S's. Through 6 and 6A, up the short run to the right hand turn 7 for the uphill. Still nose to tail they go. They might have just cleared out from Adam Miles once again. Oh, he's really just looming in the background, isn't he? These three are getting it sorted. Ruggieri makes the move on McBurney and makes it stick. Chenoweth leading the pack now with Gardner and Philippides behind them. Now it's really settled down up here. They're concentrating on making it a 2-car battle, not a 3, with Adam Miles in the background being the third wheel, so to speak. As they crest the hill now, once again for the final time. Through the spiral. Down now on the run to the fish hook for the final time. The big red barriers, the first time you run around here, wake you up very quickly that it's a right-hander. Let me tell you. Now back onto the circuit proper for the final run now, for the final time. Through South Bend at turn 20. Hendrickson looking to set up the run through 21 and 22. The most important run, as we said. We'll hop on board with Hendrickson this time round, see what we can get. What sort of run are we going to get this time from Hendrickson? See Viore moving right, moving back to the left. How does he want to approach this? Hendrickson forced to go to the right this time round, side by side. Will he get clear? This time the corner won't be seeded. Oh, he's going for the draft back, will he? Yeah, shows the nose. Oh, Hendrickson cuts it. Oh, here comes Miles back. They had contact. Miles looking all over the back of Viore this time round as they come into the hog pen for the final time. And it's going to be Hendrickson. 3 broadcasts in a row. 3 weeks out of 4. Last week he had wheel trouble. And this time round it's going to be Hendrickson for the last 3 broadcasts in a row, taking out round 11 of Sunday Night Lights in a great battle for the lead. And behind we've got some McBurney, Ruggieri and Steenbruggen coming across. What do we got behind there? The battle. Oh, there's 3s everywhere, dare I say. Hashtag pockets of excitement. I want to see what happened in that final bit here. So we're going to slow down, see what happened. They went side by side. Hendrickson got through. Then you watch. Oh, as they start moving left, you can see he had half a look. And then he just thought better of it, did Viore. Backed right out of it. A little bit of contact there, but didn't back out quick enough. As you see, there was that bit of contact, and then they continue on. And then Viore's got all sorts of miles to worry about up the inside at the crest of the roller coaster as they come down through the hog pen, or approaching the hog pen, and a couple of corners up the road. We see they go side by side, but then you got Viore on the inside there. Miles' only hope is to try and get the inside at the actual hog pen, but because of the nature of that preceding corner there at 25, he's not going to have he's not going to have the run. And what you'll find is, as we see now, Viore then comes back across with the better drive out of the preceding corner, and then has the run through the hog pen. And that's all she wrote. Pretty cool finish to that one. And that's how you do it here at Virginia International Raceway. Speaking of how you do it, let's check out our results. I was worried that we might have some lap cars or something and we'd have to wait here. I'd have to talk for about 10 minutes to get the race finished. But here we go. Tim Hendrickson for Team Torpedo. 3 out of the last 4. mechanical failure, the only thing that stopped him driving away at Zandvoort while we weren't broadcasting last week. And so he's found a bit of a purple patch, has the Team Torpedoes blue and orange mobile of Tim Hendrickson. Rasmus Viore, great battle up front between Hendrickson and Viore. Viore coming away with second here tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, that's his second place of the season after taking one out at Sonoma. Picking up the pieces there. Adam Miles returns to the series once again, not grabbing the chocolates here tonight, but a really strong performance, I should say, in strong company too, and his return to the series. Brett McBurney from McFlabby Racing leads the way for the ANZ drivers here tonight in P4, just ahead of and taking out his battle with Franco Ruggieri in P5. Alex Steenbruggen has put in another great performance here tonight in his first season and his third or fourth race for Steenbruggen. He's finished in P6. Certainly one to watch going forward. Dimitri Filipides, the international man of mystery, has finished in 7th after a poor qualifying by his standards. Managed to claw back a few to finish in 7th. Ryan Chenoweth, the wildlife warrior for Goose Juice Racing, there in 8th. Strong performance from Chenoweth. And Neil Gardner, Captain 499, has managed to pull out a top 10 performance in 9th. Luke Witten, after his unfortunate mid-race incident, he's finished a final position in your top 10. Xavier Sanchez from Spain has finished in 11th, just ahead of his compatriot Alex Hurte. Mark Lay, oh no, what happened there? Thank you. Mark Lay, I didn't even touch the button. Mark Lay's finished in 13th for Team Clowns, just ahead of Paul Wilson, the ANZ driver, outpointing head clown himself, Mr. Vasco Sorowski, in 15th. And Kenji Kuroda, the lone Japanese driver, rounds out your field of 16. As I try and queue up a nice replay so that we can talk to some folks. And we'll stick it on that camera angle for now. And we've got a couple of folks in the booth waiting for a chat. Mr. Tim Hendrickson, welcome, Tim, mate. Top drive. I know we weren't on the box last week, and I know you were driving away at Zandvoort and had an issue, but mate, last 3 broadcasts I've been talking to the blue and orange torpedo driven car driver yourself, Mr. Hendrickson, after a win, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's
such a lovely drive, this track.
So lovely that no one turns up to drive it during the week.
Yeah.
But mate, looked like you and Rasmus had a great battle, both in the warm-up race and then again. He looked to almost go for the move for that final run through the roller coaster there. Pulled out. Only just, I could see him trying to pull out, and then the contact ensued. He just didn't quite get it done in time, but obviously not enough to unsettle your run, and you were able to carry on to take out the win, mate. How'd you see that one?
Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to just plug back into the normal racing line or take the too wide approach, like the wider entry. So because of that, I kind of fluffed up by taking the approach between those approaches. So I mean, I probably wasn't quite clear enough with my positioning to make it easy on him. So I don't really blame him for that. I do need new underwear though, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, mate. That was a bit of a heart starter for sure, particularly at that stage of the race. But having said that, those at that time in the race, that's where that sort of stuff happens too. So in part, it builds to that final series of corners up the well, I was going to say the world's longest straight, but that belongs to Nords. There's a lot of this track has a lot of seconds only to Nords, right?
I mean, it's a fantastic track to drive. I don't understand why people don't drive this but do drive Nords, because they're very similar in a way. Well, actually, I say that this track's probably better for racing because Nords you can't go too wide in a lot of the corners, and in this track you can.
Yeah.
It's forgotten about, and it's a good one.
Yeah, mate, I agree with that. Nords is similarly a great track to drive. It's not my favourite track to race. This one, as you say, there's a lot of 2x2 here that you don't get at Nords. Typically at Nords, you're waiting for that big back straight. You drive 8 minutes and then have a race. Whereas here, you can
like that.
you can actually have a race around the place, as we saw with yourself a couple of times tonight, mate. Well, congratulations. You're on a bit of a purple patch, which is great to see. Another 5K soft and another win. Congratulations for Team Torpedo. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate?
Twitch chat, of course, for being very great and full of memes as always. And I'm very glad you're back after a week of absence. Oh, kind of glad actually, seeing as my Sanford race ended quite
Unfortunately.
Quite
Yeah, mate.
Wasn't brilliant.
Nah, that was a shame.
I'm glad you're back, and we're slowly heading into next season. So let's see.
Yep, excellent. All right, Tim, great to talk to you as always, mate. Look forward to seeing you next week and how we round it out.
See us.
There you go, folks. Tim Hendrickson takes out his, if I'm not mistaken, his third win of the season in the blue and orange Team Torpedo livery. And really strong performance once again. He's had great pace all season and puts it to good use once again. Next on my to-do list to have a chat with is Mr. Adam Miles from Miles Head Racing. Welcome back, Adam. Great to see you after a bit of a break and on the podium tonight. Tell me, did you feel good about that, or did you feel a little bit rusty? What was the thinking?
I thought my pace was okay. Certainly more than enough to stay with the top two, but it just, the incident with Luke kind of put me on the back foot. Ended up about 0.8 or 0.9 behind Tim, and then I think he was about 0.8 or something behind Rasmus, and just on that lap just didn't quite have the 2 or 3 tenths I needed to stay within the 1 second, so lost them for the back half of the race. But then last lap I did the hard work. I got back to about 0.6, I think, just going onto the infield, and then completely fluffed that sort of uphill right as you go into the infield, lost 4 tenths and then lost them both. It was really gutting because I think given where I was on that last lap, I could have been in the final tow, but it was my own mistake in the end, so no one else to blame but me.
Yeah, that's it, mate. So I feel a bit better sometimes about that. Although, we all beat ourselves up in those moments where we think about things like this and what might have been, right? So, but that's something that fuels us for the racing to come, and there's always ways we can be better, and that's the striving for that is what makes the top drivers who they are. So, listen, welcome back, mate. I'm really glad to see you back in the car. Do we see you again from next week as well?
Yeah, I should think so. I had a friend staying with me for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and so just spending hours in the car per week while they were around. We also went on holiday for a couple of weeks. I just didn't have the seat time to be able to do an SNL race justice. But I'm back now, and I should be here for the foreseeable future, trying to get that first victory.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Well, thanks for coming out and having a good one tonight. It's great to see you back, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Alex.
There you go, folks. Mr. Adam Miles, scholar and a gentleman, comes back and takes out a podium in the biggest race of the week. Easy as you like after, I've got to say, almost a month off, if I'm not mistaken. So, well done to Adam. Great job. Now, I've got Ryan Chenoweth, the wildlife warrior himself, in the booth at the moment. Ryan, you got a P8 here tonight. Started 8th, finished 8th. Looked like you're having a good battle there too.
Yeah, good to have you back, Alex. Had a good little battle. I was quite happy where I finished the last few weeks. I've put in by my standard, pretty solid performances. So it's been good. I've been really enjoying the racing here this week. Yeah,
good, mate. This is the thing. If you find an affinity here with this track, you can really get, people really enjoy it. So the problem is that it's one of those challenges that people won't give a second chance sometimes, and as a result, we see the participation falls away despite the nature of the track. That's I'm going to call it polarising. You either love it or you hate it. But for you, mate, I'm glad you found a good time here this week, and you had a good result here on a Sunday night, and hopefully bigger and better to come, mate. So well done. I'm glad to see you out there enjoying the race and putting on a good show and getting some good results. So congratulations on that, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the family as always, and yourself for putting this on every Sunday.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Look forward to speaking to you soon.
Have a good one.
Well, there you go, folks. That was Ryan Chenoweth, and that might even just about do us here tonight. Of course, next week we round out the series at Long Beach, if I'm not mistaken. Probably it's almost it's our second or third street circuit this season. Probably I want to say our third. I can't remember if we went to all of them. Anyway, it's at least our second because we did Chicago the other week. So anyway, we'll finish at Long Beach, which is quite something we do quite often, actually. Every time Long Beach is on, it seems to be the last track we go to. Anyway, for this week, though, congratulations to Tim Henriksen taking out 3 broadcast races on the trot and positioning himself well for the season overall. But for now, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back, all going to plan. We'll be back next week. Otherwise, you can check out the replay over at the Top Split on YouTube, and that, and of course the other replays for the full 29 seasons now by the time we finish next week. Amazing stuff. And of course, Top Split on Twitch is Top Split TV is where you find us each and every Sunday night, except last week, but we're back. Thank you for joining us and sticking with us as always. Join us in the Discord community as well for the latest and greatest, where all the results, when I actually get time to do them, will be as well. You can keep up to date with what we're doing and how we're doing it. Otherwise, folks, thank you again. Massive shout out to the Sunday Night Lights community, the Skip Barber community in general. It's the best racing, the best place to find a good community, very supportive core group of people that get out and support each other, and they turn up and do some of the best racing. In fact, the best racing you will see on the iRacing service. But for now, folks, I'm Alex McKellar. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, ciao for now.